What's up, guys? My name is Rome himself. I'm a competitive player, esports commentator, tournament host, and content creator for fighting games, mostly known for SNK titles. While I'm sure some of you may already know that, there's quite a bit of you that don't. And that's exactly why we're here today, because what if I told you that there was others just like me? Others just as passionate as myself, if not maybe even more passionate about SNK games. And we're going to sit down with all of them. From tournament players, to commentators, to artists, to event organizers, to lore enthusiasts, to legacy players, to unsung heroes, hell, even the people who work for SNK. All so we can get to know our fellow community members even more and find out their origin stories and put a spotlight on the amazing work that they do for the games that we all have come to love. This is 15 Minutes of Flame.
Get ready, fighters! A Rome himself production is coming your way!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back yet to another episode of the 15 Minutes of Flame podcast. I am Rome himself, and it is really hot right now in New York City, but that's not gonna stop me from getting one of the homies on here, interviewing the man, Jdash. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm alright, bro. Everything is good right now. How you been, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm just hot, dude. Like, you know, we talked a little bit earlier before we went live, but what happened, bro? Like, New York was like 40 degrees, and then like a day later, it's like 80 now. Like, it doubled.
Yeah, like, to me, it's like I went to work, jacket, fully dressed up for winter, and then I step out, it's like, why is it summer now?
Yeah, dude. Someone told me yesterday, they're like, why you have a jacket on? I'm like, because when I got to work in the morning, it was cool, and now it's hot, you know? But enough about that right now. We are here to talk about you. So I met you through competitive play, but I know you are someone who's who loves SNK, and you've been a big fan of a lot of their franchises. I know specifically Fatal Fury. But before we get into that, man, tell me about yourself growing up, man. Who is Jdash?
Well, I was born in Manhattan, but I lived my first couple of years in Queens. If you believe, I was actually more of an outgoing kid than I am as an adult. But after, like, at 3 years old, I ended up moving to Puerto Rico, and that's where I spent most of my childhood. Which, it was different. It took some getting used to, but you know, I ended up liking it. It was nice being near my grandparents. That's where I discovered arcades. That's where I discovered fighting games. That's where I ended up jumping into things. And then eventually my dad's job told him to come back to New York, so we ended up moving back over here, and I've been to New York ever since.
Wow, so you'll say, so you moved, interesting. You came from New York first and then moved to Puerto Rico. Usually it's like reverse, right? But
yeah.
You did say eventually you did come back, and you touched on it just like that. Arcades in Puerto Rico and fighting games. But let's talk about your first interaction with an SNK title. Do you remember?
I do remember a little bit. There was this arcade, like a chain of arcades in Puerto Rico called Time Out. And I used to have my dad take me like any chance he could, which was pretty often. You know, my dad was always cool like that. He always took me, watched me play for a little while. And I'd actually discovered SNK games when, like, you know, the Street Fighter cabs and the Mortal Kombat cabs are they're too crowded. Everybody wants to play them. And at the time, I was actually too young to play Mortal Kombat. According to them, you had to be at least 12 to play in Puerto Rico, and I was like 7, maybe 8 years old. So I ended up going to the SNK cabinet, and that's where I saw Fatal Fury 1, I saw Art of Fighting 1, I saw Sam Show 1. So I went in there, started playing, and I've been hooked on those games ever since. So the characters, the settings, the designs, everything just looks so cool to me. And from then on in, like, I just loved SNK games, and every chance I could, I would try to play them, even if nobody else was playing them.
Two things I want to touch on real quick. The first being that I love that story, because I feel like I hear that a lot with people who played, especially, you know, out here in the West for the most part, like that played SNK games. They got into it because the lines for other games, you know, for Street Fighter and for Mortal Kombat in particular, those lines were long because that's what it was all about, right? The big boom was those fighting games, and a lot of people were so focused on those And it's like, hey, do you really want to wait an hour and some change to play a match? Or you can go play this game that's here with this guy with this red and white hat and, you know, his brother and this really cool Muay Thai looking guy. Like, people end up liking SNK games more because of that. So, and the other thing is that they really didn't let kids play on Mortal Kombat unless they were over 12. I just assumed arcade owners would not give a F and just be like, hey, look, it's money, right? If a 5-year-old comes in here with a quarter, I'll take it, you know?
Puerto Rico was a little different. I mean, there was a lot of stuff they let kids get away with. And, you know, there wasn't exactly a big cop presence in Puerto Rico, but, you know, when they went to the arcade, they were strict about that. Oh, you're 12, you're not even 12, and you can't play this really bloody, gory game yet. You have to wait until you're a mature 12 years old to play this game. And it's like, you know, you're watching these guys get their limbs chopped off at 12. It's 12's the limit, really?
Yeah, don't you think I should be a little bit older to watch someone get their guts, you know, ripped out? Well, you know what, in a way though, it's the old Mortal Kombat games, they're not as gruesome as the modern games are, right? The modern games are a little bit more brutal. Back then it was a little bit more slapstick, especially when we got to like Mortal Kombat 3. And you got Jax just stepping on people, just, you know, it was really weird.
Yeah.
But actually, I wanted to ask you real quick, since you brought up, you know, being in Puerto Rico, what's something about Puerto Rico that you miss that we don't have in New York, and what's something in New York that you have that you didn't have in Puerto Rico?
Well, in Puerto Rico, there was still a pretty big arcade presence. Every mall you went to, there was either a really big arcade or there was a very big arcade very close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always places to go where you could play some games, you know, hit some buttons. And in New York, unfortunately, there's not many places for that, especially now. But even when I came back from Puerto Rico, it was mostly Chinatown Fair, and the closest place we had here in the Bronx, where I live, was this record shop that actually had SNK titles in it too. And that's where I spent most of my time. You know, probably shouldn't have cut so much class to go play some SNK games, but it is what it is. But I would say, when it came to being in New York, you know, there's more of a community here. And that's definitely something I love and I wouldn't trade for anything. Because in Puerto Rico, it was more just these guys didn't want to know each other, they didn't really get along unless they were like already friends or the new people who ran the arcade. And that was back then. I don't know how it is now, it's been years. But when I came to New York, there was just this community for it and everything. And there were so many more people that were like really into it, and not just, you know, the competition, just loving the games and everything. So that I actually really liked.
Awesome. So yeah, you briefly touched about the arcades, Timeout in particular in Puerto Rico, and you know how you got into some SNK games there. But I wanted to ask, do you have any stories from the arcade days? It could be even when you came back to New York. Any type of story, funny, scary, just anything. I'm always down to hear some arcade stories.
Well, in Puerto Rico, there wasn't really too many stories, to be honest. You know, I was just this little kid who was playing amongst teenagers and college kids, and I could beat some of them up. My dad would always tell me he'd have to stay with me only because it looked like these guys were going to turn around and try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just give them one look and they would just turn around and walk off because nobody wanted to mess with my dad. So there was a lot of that. In New York, I probably have a little more stories for New York. Outside of SNK, a little bit into for SNK involved, but this is more towards Capcom vs SNK actually. And this is probably where my competitive spirit really just came into play, because I was in Chinatown Fair with a buddy of mine, and I was playing CVS1, and then I ran into this player who used Benimaru and Yamazaki, and this dude completely wrecked me. I stood no chance against him at all. And what hurt more is that he let me know about it. He was not shy by telling me how much I sucked, I was a scrub, like, why are you even playing this game? And my buddy was like, yo, dude, lay off, he's just trying to play the game. And I say, no, he needs to know, why is he playing this game? You know, he's not good at it, he shouldn't be playing games like this if he sucks. And I went home and I grinded, dude. I grinded as hard as I could. And then comes CVS2, when it first came out in Chinatown Fair, I walk up to the cabs, and then there's nobody in the cab just yet. I jump in and start practicing, and then next to me, I see somebody come up, and I see the same exact team, Benimaru and Yamazaki, and I look and it's the same exact dude.
Wait, it was Benimaru Yamazaki ratio 4, just those two, or did
yeah, it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So he has the same exact team, same exact placements, ratio 1 Benny, ratio 3 Yamazaki. And this time I destroyed him. He stood no chance against me this time. And then after I pretty much took all of his coordinates, turned around to see who it was, and I looked right at him and it's like, I looked right at him and just the look on his face, like just pure shock, like, wait, isn't this the kid I just told to stop playing these games? And he just turned around and just bolted out of that arcade. I never saw him again.
Dude, that's like an anime moment come to life right there, man. That's actually OD. It's nothing like good motivation, right? To stop that person who's giving you adversity, or that person that's like a roadblock in your skill level increasing. So that's pretty sick, man. I like that. That's cool. But nice, you mentioned Chinatown Fair. And something else I wanted to talk about is Chinatown Fair. I mean, that's known as one of the biggest, not necessarily in terms of numbers, arcades, but like that's where a lot of the New York legends come from, right? A lot of the East Coast legends in general, people like the Sanfords, the Yipes, the Justin Wongs. I mean, there's so many Marvel players I can name, right? So many Street Fighter players that came out of there. Arturo's another guy. That arcade breeded so many champions of even modern games, you know, games that are out now, still really people that are still really good. But what I'm trying to say is, how was the SNK scene there? Because I only got to frequent Chinatown Fair towards the end, because I didn't know about it until much later. And funny enough, I found out about Chinatown Fair from some non-fighting game, like FGC friends. They were just friends I went to high school with that was like, hey, there's an arcade, let's cut school and go there, the usual, right? Yep. But yeah, you know, back in those days in like the mid 2000s, early 2000s or whatever, how was the scene for the SNK games there, if you can recall?
For the SNK games, unfortunately, there wasn't too many people playing because it was still a time where people were focused on Marvel, they were focusing on Tekken. There was always people playing SNK games, always people playing, you know, playing 98, and that's one of the places I played 98 a lot in. There was people who used to play SNK versus Capcom Chaos there, actually. There was a dude there who was ripping everybody with KO, I remember one day. But there was still a pretty good turnout. You'll always find somebody there playing a game that you specialize in. Like even obscure, more obscure anime games. Like one of my friends was always into Arcana Heart, and he always found people playing that game when he went there. So that was the beauty of Chinatown Fair. You will always find something you like, and you'll always find people who are into the same thing you like. So you're going to have people there who, you know, could wind up becoming friends for life just because you guys are bonding over playing the one game in the arcade, even if no one else is playing it.
I love it, man. That's, you know, to borrow the term again, FGC, even though we're not fully FGC, the C part, the community, you know, that's the biggest thing about these games, is meeting friends at these hobby league stores, at these pizzerias that have arcades, at these bowling alleys and movie theaters and actual arcades that, you know, have the games, obviously, like meeting people there, forming these bonds, becoming friends, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about. Yeah, we love to play the games, we love to compete. But I also like saying, hey, we just played some matches at this arcade. You want to get a bite to eat? You know, I got a few dollars. Let's go grab some pizza or something, you know, like, and talk about the game. So that's awesome. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. The FGC, man, the fighting game community. So how did you get into the FGC? Because I know we talked, you know, in the past just about your first tournament and stuff, which we'll get to. But how did you find out about it? Like, you know, because you got in a little later. As someone who played in the arcades and grew up being an SNK fan and a fighting game fan in general, you got into it a little bit later, right? So how did you find out about the FGC?
Well, I was mostly just watching videos on YouTube. At the time, I was really big into Guilty Gear, so I was always looking video. I was always trying to look at videos on YouTube about Guilty Gear and seeing what the higher level players do. And it was also during a time where Daigo himself was actually playing a lot of Guilty Gear, and he used Soul, and that's where I started to learn more about him, more about these competitions, these tournaments, these high level players. So I started looking it up. I started finding more games about it, and started looking up more games and seeing what people played besides Street Fighter. Everybody plays Street Fighter, so that's how I ended up finding out about it. And I even had a lot of friends who were telling me to start joining tournaments because they started finding out too. They say you should go join these tournaments. You're the best guy in the block, you're the best guy in the area. And at the time, I wasn't too interested, so I would always tell them, I'm not really interested, I just want to play casual. But yeah, it was mostly through things like YouTube and finding videos.
Got it. What year was this, if you can remember, like around the time frame? Because you said Guilty Gear. Is this like around Accent Core, maybe like 2007 or so?
And it was around X2, actually. X2 was the new one.
Oh, okay. So this is 2003, 4-ish, around there, I think?
I think so, yeah, around there.
My dates are a little off about Guilty Gear, because I didn't really know about Guilty Gear until Accent Core, and then I went back and played like Reloaded and Midnight Carnival, so... But that's cool. So you had the, it's always the homies, they prop you up. You're the best in the area, you're the best in the neighborhood. And for you, I like that you said that you were very reserved about it. You were like, oh no, I don't really have any interest in competing. It's more so like you play for fun, you play with your friends or family or what have you. But for a lot of people, like myself, when they're the best of their friend group, or their peers or whatever, not that it goes to your head, but you're like, man, I could beat anybody. I can go to a tournament and I can smoke any person. I could win a tournament. I could do this, I could do that. And then quickly you go to your first outing and you learn that it's not as easy as you thought. So tell me, man, about your first local. We'll go with your first major as well, but we'll talk about your first local first, man. Do you remember the tournament it was? And can you tell me the events leading up to that?
Actually, I think the first local I ever did wasn't for a traditional fighting game. And this was just by chance because I worked at the place. It was for Smash. It was for Super Smash Brothers. That was the first tournament I entered that wasn't a major, because I just happened to work there, and the owner said, "Oh, you play fighting games, so we want you to enter for." So, and I told him that's really not the type of fighting game I'm into, but we want you to enter. So I ended up entering for that. It was a little weird, I didn't really know a lot of the guys, and somebody was supposed to be TOing the thing. It's just it was kind of weird for me to do that one, to be honest. I only had my homie, one of my local homies there, so not really something I look back on too fondly. I'd have to say my first big entry into the more traditional FGC was actually at a major.
Okay.
And that major was CEO 2016.
Hey,
where,
2016, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where they had demos for KOF 14.
Yes, I was there. That was actually my very first CEO, and I was there as well to play that KOF 14 demo, man. Yep.
Yeah, so that's where I was. I went in for Street Fighter 5 and for Guilty Gear. I think it was still signed at the time for Rev, and I don't really recall too well. But I entered for those games. Didn't do great, but I didn't go 0-2, so I was happy about that.
You take those.
Yeah, I was just more happy. It was just a little, well, not happy. It was more like a little, I felt a little bummed because my dad only saw the matches where I ended up losing.
Aw.
But that, like you were saying, but that's where usually when you go to a major or a local, that's where you find out where there are other people out there who are better than you, and that's how I found out. Because my first matches were actually for an auction tournament for Guilty Gear, and I paid $90 to play Soul Bad Guy.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
So I was hyper confident. And I won my first match. I did win my first match pretty handily, although obviously I was making a lot of mistakes. And then my second match ended up being Kid Viper, who was probably America's best Johnny at the time. And I knew who that was too. So, damn. But I went in as hard as I could. I think I might have taken a round, but I did all right. I think. Like some people were telling me, "No, you did good. You had some good combos. You had some version." So people weren't making fun of me or anything. They were propping me up, telling me, "No, you just still did pretty good, man. That's Kid Viper, though."
Yeah, he's a strong player. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I lost 90 bucks to that. But it was all right. It was still fun. And after I was done my games, I actually spent more of my time either with one of my homies in Florida playing at the open area, or I was playing KOF.
So it's funny because I didn't know you at the time, but you know I was also at that CEO, and I competed in Street Fighter V only, I think. Yeah, only, or at least that was the game I was focused on. And I got pretty far in my bracket. Actually, I was surprised. I lost to a Ryu player because a certain top player, I don't want to mention their name, it was a friend of theirs. I beat their friend the first game, cooked them, and then they coached their friend and pretty much pointed out all my weaknesses, and I lost. It is what it is, you know. That's just the cost of doing, you know, I say cost of doing business. That's just the cost of the match, right? You want your homie to win, because I would do the same, and I'm sure I know I've coached a bunch of homies to overcome things. Yeah. So, you know, it is what it is, but I'm still holding that. I know who the person is, and then one day, if we do cross paths in Street Fighter 6 and I beat them, I'm bringing that up to you. So make sure to watch this video to know about that. But anyways, yeah, so I didn't know you at the time, but like I said, we both were there. KOF 14 was coming out. There was a lot of hype behind it. So we, you know, that was cool. It was really cool that you got to experience that. CEO it's a dope major. It's in back then it was in Orlando. I loved that venue. The location was great. Yeah. When I was there that year, bro, if I wasn't playing 14 or Street Fighter 5, I was literally enjoying everything Florida has to offer. It was a good time out there. But that's cool. You know, your first major, you got to experience some strong players like that. And then, you know, fast forward a little bit, you're back in New York, you're playing some of the locals out here. KOF 14 was rocking. Like I said, a lot of us, I got to meet you for the first time. A lot of us got to, you know, really be cool. And I'll say this before I go into the next question, you know, people could say what they want about KOF 14, right? Graphics, whatever. We've heard it all, right? Yep. But I will always love and appreciate that game for making me, for basically forging a friendship with people like you, people like Aru, people like Yurikov, a lot of people. I mean, man, we had a whole group chat, right? A lot of us really started to get to know each other. Anima is another guy, right? But he was so young back then, which is crazy. Monta, all those guys. But yeah, you know, that game forged a good friendship for a lot of us. And the people that still play today, the people that still support a lot of the scenes, the tournaments and events out here, a lot of us got close from KOF 14, from going to play that game and meet up. So, like, you know, if people can say what they want, but I'm always gonna love that game for, you know, allowing us to be friends, basically. So yeah, man, it is 2019 Samurai Showdown. I hope I said that properly. Sorry, announcer, don't kill me. But Samurai Showdown 2019 comes out. We're hyped for it. You know, we were all in on that game. But can you tell me, man, what are your thoughts about the game when it came out, man? How did you feel about it?
I loved it when it first came out. I mean, that's saying a lot. I love all Sam Show games. But it was really fun to play the new one and to really just experience it. And when I was just playing it, I'm like, I want to get in hard on this. That, you know, 14, you know, I loved 14, but I really want to get in hard on this game now, because that's where I just recently I discovered I was really good in 5 Special. And, you know, a lot of the things I did in 5 Special could translate a little bit to this game. So it's like, all right, I want to focus on this game. I want to get really good in this game. I think I can do well in this game. So I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I couldn't put it down for a really long time.
Yeah, it was very, very ecstatic with how the game came out as well, you know, and the fact that we all got to play again, you know, further just improving on our established friendship. And, you know, a lot of us just grinding, playing, you know, week in, week out, you know, try to play online a few times. That didn't always work out the way we wanted, but, but the overall game was great. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to the rollback announcement when that is, you know, so they're going to be doing another beta for it. And when that gets fixed and finalized and we get to fully play that game, I'm super in on, you know, running lobbies and just getting games with the homies, you know. But let's talk about a specific player. So for those that may not have been around during the Next Level Battle Circuit days of Samurai Showdown 2019, this is pre-COVID, so I know it feels like a decade ago, but there was a player named Jonah. Now Jonah, shout outs to him. He's not a traditional SNK player. I believe he plays like anime titles, but he was playing Samurai Showdown. First he was staying out here for school, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember where he lives at his school. We don't need to get into that, but I know he was in New York for like a few months or something like that for school. And he was playing Samurai Showdown, and this guy was cooking everybody every Wednesday night at Battle Circuit. He was winning, beating Aru, beating Sonic Soul, Henry Sin, pretty much anyone who was there. He was winning Battle Circuits back to back to back. There was one player that was able to slow down the streak of his win streak of Battle Circuits by defeating him in a grand finals. That one player was you, Jay. Let's talk about it, man. How did you feel, bro? I still remember watching it. That's when I was still working overnight, so I couldn't go. But I was watching at work. I'm like, yo, let's go. Get him, Galford. Yeah. But man, talk to me about it, man. How did you feel to be the first player to kind of like crack that armor of Jonah?
I'd say, dude, that was a really big experience for me, especially like right after that was another CEO. And right after I made top 8 for the Sam show side tournament there, and I ended up losing because I made a dumb mistake. So I still had time, and I decided I was gonna enter Battle Circuit because it was my first Battle Circuit too.
I didn't know that was your first Battle Circuit. No way.
Yeah, it was my very first Battle Circuit. Normally I couldn't enter because I live in the Bronx. It's in Brooklyn, and it goes on late, so normally couldn't do it. But I had the next day off, so I said, you know what? Let me go to Battle Circuit. And even in Florida, when I was competing, I was hearing about Jonah, and Aru mentioned him too, like, oh, this guy's so good, this guy is great. I'm like, I want to play this guy. I want to see how I do. So I went to the Battle Circuit, and I was just trying my best to just get as far as I could with what I knew. And next thing I know, they tell me, oh, you're in winners finals against Jonah. It's like, what? Really? Like, I wasn't even keeping count of the games. Someone had to tell me. Even when I was playing the matches with him, I wasn't keeping count. I was just playing until somebody told me to stop. So, when I finally ended up winning, at first I couldn't believe it. When I got the last win, and they're telling me, yo, Jay, you can stop now, you won. Like, wait, I won? It's like, yeah, you won, man, it's over, you won. Like, oh shit, really? I won? I couldn't. That was my first win.
First tournament win.
Your first tournament win, and first anything win when it comes to anything fighting game related. So, dude, like I was composing myself when I was in there, dude. I was so happy. I was so I was so hyped about it, and I didn't really know what to say. I couldn't even really put it into words. Even now, I find it hard to really put it into words. When I remember that day, because that was probably the crowning achievement for Sam Show for me, because I know after that Jonah went on a warpath after that.
Yeah, that dude was a monster. Before and after that loss, he was a monster. Yeah, he didn't slow down.
Yeah, I heard after that he went right to grinding, and he was killing everybody. And I was even telling these guys, like, yo, guys, you guys can definitely take him. What's going on? Do I have to come back?
Nah, he was out there, man. Jonah was insanely strong at the game. Again, shout outs to him, and I hope he, even if he can't come back to New York, I do hope that he's gonna be playing when the rollback is. I mean, the game is completely different now. That was like super early. That was like the first month or so of the game. Not first month, maybe like first 2 months of the game, right? But it was early. Now we have a season 3 and new characters and so much changes. But yeah, you know, it was a lot of fun watching that, and I remember being very, very happy for you. I was like, yo, this is legit. Like, Jdash out here cooking with his Galford. I mean, we got to play a few times. You cooked me. I was like, damn. But there is that clip of me doing the Tam Tam dance. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I saw that on TikTok. It's like, word.
Yeah. I had to do it to you. But what the people don't know is that you just won the next game after, so it doesn't even matter. See? I got to get my shit in when I can, you know. But yeah, so Samurai Showdown again, you know, it was a lot of fun, and to win a battle circuit, man, that puts you up there. Battle circuit has always been one of the toughest locals, right, to win. And I mean, again, look at the history that's come through there. I mentioned the Chinatown Fair players. I mentioned, you know, even players like Jay Wong, who when he did visit New York, sometimes he would play at Battle Circuit. And he might not always win in Street Fighter, but it's very cool to win a Battle Circuit. It's a tough local, and again, you solidify yourself as a strong player in New York with that, beating easily the strongest player we had at that time, and for a lot of Sam Show's lifespan in you know, New York. But you mentioned your CEO top 8, and I just wanted to ask you, what are some of your prominent tournament moments? And now when I say moments, give me a few moments of, like, maybe placings. You know, it could be any game, it could be a match, maybe you had like a bracket demon that you lost to before, even in the same tournament. Maybe they sent you the losers and then you got the run back. Just a match you felt you played really well. Just some moments that stick out to you in your mind when you think of, like, all the time you competed.
All right. Well, again, that was the CEO where I top 8 at Sam Show. It's my first top 8 at a major, even though it was for a side game. So I was really happy about that, even though I lost because I made a mistake, which was unfortunate. Then right after that, was Battle Circuit. I think in ECT, where I got, like, what was it, 9th, 12th? What was it I got? Where I ended up just missing top 8 in ECT later that year.
Oh, that really stacked 2019. Oh yeah. That ECT, I remember now. Yeah, you did get 9th, I think. You got 9th.
Yeah, like I was like right there.
That was like 150 players, and we had like out of town players. We had Jimmy Bones came from Canada. Like, we had a few international players. Yeah, I think wasn't Didimo was there, right? Didimo Koff, I think he was there as well. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
dude, that tournament was a really good tournament, and I tied for 13th, so we take those. But yeah, man,
it was good. I also ended up getting top 8 in KOF somehow. Somehow I got top 8 in that. I wasn't even paying attention. I ended up finding out a couple of days later when I checked the placements. Like, wait, I made top 8 in 14, really? How'd that happen? How'd that happen? I think that was probably the saltiest I ever made Animonk in that game. Shout out to Animonk, I love you, buddy. Because he beat me the first time and I got really annoyed and I switched to King. Because he hates King.
Yeah, he does.
And I just kept doing jump CD and he couldn't contest it and ended up winning. But it's okay because I ended up getting beat up by El Rosa right after that.
Wow, your consolation prize for beating Animal because you got to fight El Rosa.
It's like, yeah, I did it. You're fighting El Rosa. Damn. There was also Frosty Faustings. It was cool meeting everybody else in the community. I didn't do too well that one though. I didn't make it out of my pool. Like, I just wasn't playing to my best, I guess, in that one. But I did do pretty good at Vampire Savior. We both did, actually. In that.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah.
Which is weird. That wasn't the game. I don't think either of us were focusing on that game, but we ended up doing really well. So I always remember that. Where it's like, oh my god, I'm actually not bad at this game.
Yeah, for those that are watching, you know, if you guys know us from SNK stuff, me and Jdash really do like Vampire Saviors as well. We might not practice it all the time, but we both enter at events and we usually tend to talk about it a lot when we're there. So, like, definitely do like that game a lot, and we did do well. I remember that. That was fun. That was a fun time.
Yeah, it was great. It's just After that, like, I wasn't really going to many majors, you know, things my dad, you know, I didn't really want to be away from him too much. And, you know, finances and all the other stuff, so it was mostly just local stuff. I do remember a bracket demon, I think it was Rakir. He always beat me in Sam Show. I couldn't get past him. I never did, because that's when I had to stop going, but every time I ran into him in Sam Show, he always beat me. And always had problems fighting Shiki. So, but much older the guy, he always got me though. I can't be mad at that.
You gotta get your run back with that rollback, man. That's all.
I'll have to get the run back. I still have to fight the other Jdash, who is in the other side of the country, in the West Coast. We never got to fight.
Oh yeah, I forgot the two Jdashes. We were supposed to do that match. I remember. I just think plans kind of fell through, right? Time fell through or something like that, and we just couldn't do it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's like every time he asked me, it was always like I was busy or I had to leave. But you know, we still got to do it. I still remember. We still got to do it one day. There was also one match in Sam Show. This is where I discovered some tech with Galford. It was completely by accident. I pretended it wasn't, but it totally was an accident. I was fighting against this Nakaruru player, and I felt a lot of pressure. I felt like nervous because I had just met somebody who said he was a really big fan of mine, and he wanted to stay and watch the match. And I'm like, oh damn! And there was so much. I feel so much pressure on myself, even more than usual. And I'm about to die. Like, we're both at the end. I'm like, I'm dead. So I miss input and I do Galford's overhead, and I'm like, ah shit, I'm dead. I'm done. And then the knock goes for the Isen and flies right under Galford as he's flipping.
Wow.
And I land like, what, am I alive? Oh, I just killed him after that. And he looks at me, he's like, did you do that on purpose? I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah, of course. You always have to own up to it every time.
Yes, it was completely on purpose. I knew that would happen. It was completely on purpose. It totally was on purpose. Completely on purpose. I studied that. Completely studied. I had no idea what was gonna happen. Then I had my match with Big Bates on stream after that. He got me there. I've never met somebody who did so many wild DPs. Like, to the point where even on the stream, you could see me look at him on stream and look at him like, really, dude? That was fun, though. He's a cool-ass dude, though. Super cool dude.
Yeah, shout out to Bates. He's dope.
Yeah, he's always been awesome. Love the guy. Let's see. I'm trying to remember anything else. Any placements or matches. I think those like the only ones that really come to mind, to be honest.
Yeah, that's cool. I just wanted just a few that you can think of off the top of your head, you know, just some. I'm sure there's probably some locals you probably did really well, placed a high, you know, gotten top 3 or something like that, or a match. But yeah, you know, like we have so many. What's that? Locals, yeah. I now remember another set. It was, I think I got 3rd for Sam Show. It was against Henry Sen, and the two of us just in the final match just completely stopped giving a crap. I think I remember this.
Yeah, it was. I think I was just using Hamaru for a matchup because Galford was working against his Earthquake, I believe. And I heard you I heard you on commentary talking about the fake Cyclone Slash.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually overheard you, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And that's how I won that one, where I did it, and he went for Isen, and I blocked it, and I ended up finishing him after that.
Damn, I came in with the assist right there, the striker, if you will.
Yeah, the big assist to you for that one, man. 'Cause he had me, and then like you said that, like, oh yeah, that is a thing, and I kept like doing it and messing with him. And then he switched to Charlotte, and the two of us just played like complete idiots. Like just DPing in place, him mashing a button, me just DPing, and even Aru's like, you two are idiots!
I think I remember this. This was in the basement, right?
Yeah, it was in the basement.
Yeah. Dude, it's...
He ended up getting me though, but that was a lot of fun. That was funny.
Yeah, I remember that, man. There's something about SNK Next Level is Basement that just feels so like, it's so grungy and so like it makes you feel like you're actually in the fight. I don't know what it is, but the energy about just doing something. Like I remember when we did Lunar Bout. I think at the time, I think it was, oh no, it was still called Lunar Bout. It was 2019, right before COVID, right? That Lunar Bout right before COVID, 2020, sorry. And when Sam Show Finals was in the basement and just everyone huddling around the monitor and like getting hype, like you could literally feel the floor shaking, like when everyone's just like going crazy, you know, of every interaction between the players. Like there's something about that basement that I love. It almost brings out the raw, like, you know, the real like salt of the earth, I guess you can say. Like it brings that out of everyone there watching, the spectators, the players, the commentators, everybody. So that was very fitting for that crazy match you and Henry had.
Yeah, it feels like Fight Club down there, actually, the way it is.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you, because it does. It's like an actual fight. Or it feels like, remember when WWE did that weird thing, I think a few years ago?
Oh my God.
The little MMA, yeah, the MMA thing. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Ropeless ring, everybody gets it in. It's supposed to be legit fighting each other, legit.
Yeah, legit as legit can get, you know? Speaking of legit though, you are a legit fan of SNK, right? Not just a competitive player, you're someone who loves the characters, the games, the stories, everything, right? So, yep. And you're a collector, which is why I want to talk to you, man. Let's talk about some of the stuff you got. I know you got a lot of figures, you got games, you have a poster on the wall right there. Can you just tell me some of the stuff?
Yeah, let's see. This stuff. I do have this poster here, matches the shirt I'm wearing.
Sick.
All framed up, definitely had to get it. You can't really see it, you can see a little bit here, but the centerpiece of this little display I have of figures is a Jdash figure that was like $200 and I had to get that for sure. And then behind me there's like a ton of other figures and stuff. I don't know if it can be seen that well.
I can see the casing of it though, but not necessarily the figures. Just some of the figures you got, or which ones?
I got a lot of Guilty Gears, the DBZ, Street Fighter. I also am on those Storm collectibles for KOF.
Nice.
I'm definitely on that. I think those are, yeah, right there, the red ones right there. And I'm planning on adding more to those. I have some pre-order coming in. I'm not really as much of a big collector these days because, you know, it gets expensive. But I still do try to collect. I get not just figures though, not just posters. I also try to collect art books too. I have quite a few art books. Not just for SNK, KOF, for other games too. Like Mega Man was a big thing I wanted to get for art books. And I have a ton of Mega Man figures in my closet too. Some stuff I can't even really display because I don't have the space for it.
That's sick, man. Yeah, so you got, I didn't know you had a lot of Mega Man stuff. I might need to see a photo of some of those, man. You know, me and Mega Man, so yeah. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. And you're right, the collecting hobby, I always admired it. But yeah, it's super expensive, man. I could imagine. I was talking with John Sex, you know, a few episodes ago, and he mentioned that like there was a figure, I believe it was a Terry Bogard figure that is so expensive now, but when he should have bought it, he was saying in his mind when he wanted to buy it, it was cheaper, like way cheaper, and he just didn't get it. He didn't pull the trigger. Now he wants it, and it's like 4 times the price that it was back then.
Is that the one where he's doing the power wave?
That might be. I don't know if he said it's a Storm. I think he did say it's one of the Storm collectibles. Yeah, you know what? Because I was showing him the one that you got me, the alternate color Terry that I have behind me, right here. The viewers can see. He was like saying that one is still cheaper. So he was thinking of just buying the green one and then just like painting red on it or something like that. Yeah. But that's awesome, man. And I know you got a bunch of games as well, a lot of SNK games. You've brought some to my house. We've had like some house sessions here where like we just played a bunch of older games. And that's cool, man. I love that. Again, you know, this platform is about fans, people who love SNK titles, you know, from anything. So I'm glad to see that, man. But let's talk about the games. Let's start off with KOF 15, man. The new update has been out for a few months. Can you just tell me your overall thoughts on the game, and you know, if you're enjoying the update, what you like about it, and you know, who you're playing these days?
Well, 15, I've been on and off with that game, literally on and off with that game. As you know, I actually stopped competing for a little while as a result of my frustrations with the game, especially during a time where I felt it was really unbalanced. But the game is still really fun, and I still really like it, especially now with the balance update, where it feels like you could pretty much pick anybody. And I always love that with games where even the lower tiers can still compete as long as you knew what you were doing with them. So I can always appreciate that in the fighting game. I've never been too much of a fan of games where one character just dominated. So for 15 to now be more balanced in such a way where pretty much it feels like you could pick any character and you could do some work, you know, except Billy.
Yeah, Billy and Darley, but yeah.
Billy and Darley. I've ran into a decent Darley once or twice. I've never ran into a great Billy, though.
Yeah.
But I do like 15. I actually really do like 15. I really think it's a fun game. I love the design for it. I love the roster for it. And I can't wait to see where it goes from here. I am now fully back in the game, and am currently grinding for it. And using the team where it's like I can pick characters who are not only strong, but I love these characters too. So I'm so happy now with the latest update for it now.
But yeah, the core game I think is great, and I do agree with you. I think both of us was in the same camp where 15 was kind of a, I don't want to say a hard pill to swallow, but it's definitely a game where you have to open up to a bit more. It's a great game, but it has its I don't necessarily say problems, but if you're used to doing things one way, 15 might veer it off into a different direction. So you just kind of have to get back on track and get into that direction, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
But they're doing a good job. Yeah, like you said, the recent patch is cool. And, you know, Kim just got released a few weeks ago, and looks like people are figuring out what to do with him now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's in the future. We got Sylvie on the way. We got Gonits or Gaynits or Gay Nuts, however you want to pronounce it. He's on the way. We have, you know, the other two DLC that we don't know about. So, you know, the future is looking good for SNK. As they say, the future is now. And to continue with the future, this is something I know you have to be very excited for. Garo and or new Fatal Fury. We still don't have an official name for it yet, but a very new Garo Mark of the Wolves is on its way. Who would have thought we've seen this, Jay? Who in 1,000 years would have thought we'd be getting a new Garo Mark of the Wolves?
Yeah, I know, man. Like, I saw the announcement for it at it was EVO last year, and I'm like, oh, really? They're actually going to continue it finally? Because as you know, some people also know, I love Garo. I do love that game a lot. I love playing it. I love competing in it. To me, the game just feels so good to play, and it's always been one of my favorites. And to know that they're finally going to continue the story of the game, and they're finally going to make a new one, I'm just so excited to see where it goes from here, and I cannot wait to see more and see what direction they're going to go with it. Are they going to implement more stuff from the old Fatal Fury games? Are they going to put back in the playing system? Or are they going to involve the ring outs again, which I don't think any of us liked, but you know, that is also a thing.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody does. That's another thing. Or old favorites who didn't make it into Garo, which was practically the entire cast. Are we going to see old favorites in Fatal Fury? Could we see an Axel Hall? Could we see Lawrence Blood again? What new characters could they bring back? So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with this.
Yeah, man, I cannot wait for more footage. Hopefully we get something this year, and I'm sure we will. You know, Nostradamus, Rome Stradamus, if you will. I'm expecting some news at EVO or like by EVO. I'm expecting them to have maybe like at least like some footage, gameplay footage to show us how it looks graphically. Maybe some more character trailers. I mean, the latest trailer they showed us at EVO Japan it says that they're viciously working on the game, which means that they're, you know, I guess they're speeding up the process. They're on it. They're just trying to work on it, and you know, I'm excited to see. I'm really happy to have a new non-KOF game. Not that I don't, obviously I love KOF, that's why we're here, but I think it's great that SNK are going back to some of their older titles, you know, the games where the KOF characters came from, essentially. And, you know, hopefully one day, man, I hope that, you know, the success from Megaro 2 and, you know, KOF 15, Samurai Showdown, and all this stuff, one day, I don't know how, but I am hoping we can get some type of a new Art of Fighting game that maybe retells the events of the first game, but like in a, you know, we talked about it, like a Yakuza style setting, or, you know, something, because Art of Fighting's story, especially the first game, it's so good. It's an 80s action movie. It's so good.
Yeah, dude, especially if it's like a Yakuza game, that or an old school Fatal Fury game, because I know we also brought up there was supposed to be something for Fatal Fury where Geese was the protagonist, showing how Geese was in his youth.
Yes.
And I think there's a manga, or at least there's manga scans of it, showing Geese during his young days, and that'd be a great game to look back into too. But Art of Fighting in Yakuza style would be absolutely amazing, and I'd be completely on top of that because I love the Yakuza series. Absolutely fell in love with that series. So to be able to play like Art of Fighting characters like Ryo or Robert going through all of Southtown in an open field, trying to find Yuri, doing the main story, and then also a ton of side quests and a lot of sub stories. And dude, there's so much potential in there, and I really hope SNK can make that happen, because it just hearing it just makes me want to play it. I'm
telling you, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, bro. Like, there's so much potential with SNK characters. Like Southtown, I love how big Southtown is, but it's just a town, dude. Like, it's just like, it's like Manhattan. Like, that's all it is. It's not even like, it's not like Southtown is the entire state. It's just like a small town, but there's so much going on in Southtown that you can do a Yakuza game. You could do a beat 'em up style game where you're going through Southtown as like Joe and Andy or whatever. Like, the sky's the limit. And you know, I'm just wishing SNK all the success in the future. And but you know, more specifically right now, because Garo is the future, we know we're getting that. I'm just looking forward to what they have in store for us, and I can't wait to see, man. But yeah, dude, let's get into this Raijinken round. So I'm sure you know what that is. You've seen a few episodes before, right?
Yep.
So we'll play this game of charades. Let me know when you're ready, brother.
All right, I'm ready, man.
All right. Favorite KOF character?
Despite my tag, I'm gonna have to say Terry Bogard.
Of course, a lone wolf, man. Favorite KOF game?
KOF 98, vanilla, actually, because that is the game that really got me super into KOF and started me down the path of just playing SNK games like I am now.
Perfect. Favorite KOF song?
See, this one's a hard one, but
give me one of them, because no one can never really truly pinpoint their favorite song. Just give me one that comes to your mind.
I'm gonna go with Goodbye Osaka from KOF 2000.
OST or AST?
AST.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to go with that one because 2000 always has a really banging OST and AST, and that one sticks to my mind a lot, and it's been sticking to my mind a lot for the past few days too.
You are episode 11 of 15 Minutes of Flame, and I still think right now 2000 has the tally of most picked songs. So that is going to tell you, you know, 2000 soundtrack is possibly the best in the entire series, according to my guess, that is.
Definitely, man.
A new addition to the Raijinken round. Favorite KOF stage?
Oof. I'd have to say the Japan stage, Isaka in 98, with when they're fighting in the streets.
Yes.
In traffic. Oh, dude, I love that stage so much, to the point where I had to get a mod on the PC version so I could have that as my.
Nice. That is the stage where they right under the bridge, and in the background is the old Neo Geo Land location. So that's also a real location in Japan. So
yeah,
good choice right there.
Stage. Love it.
And last but not least, you know how we do, man. Create your ultimate KOF team using 3 versions of 3 different characters from previous KOF games.
Okay, I have to say first Terry. I'd probably have to say 15 Terry. Pre-patch, because I do miss the crack shot.
The first version, Terry, gotcha.
Yeah, I do miss that quick overhead crack shot. Still wish it was there. I'd have to say that because I feel like he's really fun in 15. Like, he's got so much stuff to do in 15. He's got the juggles and everything. So, definitely him. I'd have to say 11 Jdash, because that's actually where I got my tag from playing Jdash in KOF 11. And he still had the air fireball, and he had crazy corner pressure, damage. That's where the sidekick debuted that he currently has in 15. So I'd say 11 Jdash for sure. And I'd probably have to say, if it's sticking straight to KOF specifically, I'd probably have to say Robert for 98. That's where I really fell in love with the character. Playing 98 a lot, the way he played there, the way he looked, the stance, the design, everything. So I would make.
All right, sounds good. So we got pre-patch KOF 15 Terry, we have KOF 11 Jdash, and we have KOF 98 Robert. I like it. That is a very solid team. Jdash, I mean, we know how strong he was. Robert was pretty good in 98 as well too. I know he wasn't like a top tier character, but he has the proximity unblockable. He's got some good stuff in that game. And you know, with that, Jay, I guess there's nothing else left for us to do other than hop into these matches, bro. Let's get it.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are playing the pinnacle of the King of Fighters games. You heard me say that. The pinnacle. The King of Fighters 98 Unlimited Match Final Edition. We figure we take it here, you know what I'm saying? This is a game me and Jdash both love. And it's got a nice, huge cast of characters.
Dude, this game is great, man. No.
Well, last chance. Also, I didn't realize it, but we got your stage.
Oh, yeah, definitely happy about that. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh!
Ah.
Let's go! I forgot in this game that he does the Rambo completely. Oh my god.
Ooh, nice.
Woo! Let's go!
Ooh.
Ah. Oh, damn, I always end up picking Whitewash Lucky.
Whitewash.
I swear I'm not doing it on purpose at this point.
Oh, crap.
Oh, oh, okay.
Ah, damn, got me.
Oh, fuck it up. Woo.
Nope.
Oh. That fireball got a big booty on it. Oh!
Damn it.
Oh shit! Almost got me with a back turn. Oh no! I I did my super. I tried to do my fireball super, but I think you still would have won anyways. Oh no!
Gotcha.
Not the escalation mode. Whew. Nice.
Yeah, that's always missing.
I think you're supposed to only do one hit of the...
Yeah, it's... Oh!
Okay. Oh, that was nice. The iframes.
Oh.
That wasn't nice.
That's that. Nope.
Ooh, thank God. I was actually scared. I was like, no. It's okay, that super is like not minus at all.
Crazy.
Yo! Oh, damn it. Oh, that doesn't work. Ah, let's go.
God,
Crazy D. I love that they added that super in this game. Oh no.
Ooh.
This ball, yeah. Damn it. I'm trying to do a... That was a good read. Oh my God. I'm trying to sidestep, but it's just like, God damn, it's so fast. Oh! Oh!
No!
No! No! Damn it! Oh my God!
What? No!
No!
Not like this!
Oh!
Not like this!
Yes!
No! Not like this! No!
Oh! Play some AG in here for the final game.
Ah, AG. Oh my God. I love him, but I hate him.
He's such a prick in this game.
He really is.
Kaiser wave! Oh no! Good punish. Oh!
Yep.
Oh, so good. Get him. Oh, damn it.
No, that's right. We'll continue it from there.
I think you can do super, right?
You can, but I was usually just do DP. Does pretty good damage on its own.
Gotcha.
We all know that.
Fuck. Oh my god.
No, it's okay. Oh my god!
Calculated, brother. I knew that. Just like you knew you did that Galford overhead. I totally knew that. I had it scouted.
Oh my god. Oh, that's right. As long as power waves now.
Nice. Damn.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Happens when you block it.
Oh, yep, yep. Oh, damn, that was so good. No, Jay, GG's.
GG's, man.
Nice, down to the wire as always.
GG's. I love this game, man.
God, yeah, seriously. Damn, man, those were some fantastic matches in Final Edition. Jdash, thank you so much for playing, bro. It was great to just kind of play a bunch of characters and showcase what they can do and just what that game has to offer, man. 98 FE, for those at home that don't got it, get it next time it goes on sale, because it does go on sale frequently. But yeah, my man...
Gotta get that game. To me, it exemplifies what it is to play KOF, especially back in the day. Definitely have to get that game.
Absolutely, yeah. It encompasses so much of what this game truly means. But Jay, where can the people at home find you?
All right, well, mostly I'm just on Twitter at Jdash usually there. You will find me there, usually retweeting videos. I'll retweet pieces of art I find that I happen to like. Or if anyone says something that I agree with, sometimes I'll even post things myself, either my thoughts, maybe something memey, or, you know, if I find some tech, I might post it. Although not as much these days, but if you want to find me, that's right.
Sounds good, sounds good. So thank you again, Jay. It was a lot of fun getting to know a bit more about you. I mean, I've known you for so long now, right? I feel like almost a decade at this point. A few more years and we'll be into a decade of knowing you, but it's been a pleasure, you know, just being up and down these roads, going to events, sharing hotel rooms, playing games, practicing. It's always a good time, man. And, you know, here's to many more. But for now, this is yet another episode of the 15 Minutes of Flame podcast. Everyone, take care, be safe, and try to stay cool. It's hot out here in New York, so y'all try to stay cool, and we will see y'all for the next episode.
Peace. Later, everybody.
That's all for now, fighters. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow Rome's social media pages down below. Take care, see you next time, and most importantly, thank you for watching.